So kind of jumping into your photography, where do you kind of get your inspiration from? Because for me, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember like Rage TV back in the day. It's like very like 90s raw.
I think it like definitely comes from the 90s quite a bit. And like also my friends inspire me quite a lot with it. But I think it definitely comes from 90s. It started with like 90s hip hop and has eventually gone to more punk as my music taste changed.
Oh yeah. Do you
Yeah.
listen to a lot of hip hop?
I used to, not as much now, but definitely used to.
So like music and your friend, would you say like your friend's style, sense of style?
Yeah, like they definitely influence my editing or the lighting that I use in photos as like I see them grow. Like I also grow with them.
Oh,
And
cool.
like they introduce me to other like styles of editing and stuff like that, which is always super fun.
Also like
Switch it up.
connecting with other photographers, you kind of like learn from them and they
Yeah,
influence you, you influence them.
yeah, for sure. And like it's nice to have like photographers surrounding me because I get to see like all different ways you can edit and like shoot stuff that I wouldn't have even thought of myself.
Yeah, 100%. Did you do any like formal training for photography or like how did you learn?
Nah, I like started because I actually wanted to do YouTube. Lol. So I had like a camera and then I was in
Why
this.
lol? I do YouTube.
Yikes. Well, it didn't work out, obviously. No, I just gave up. But like, I wanted to do YouTube, but then I had this camera because I didn't end up doing it, so I just had this camera. And there was like this group of girls that I knew, and like they're all super self-conscious. So I was like, yeah, let's do like a photo shoot in like ugly lingerie and
Yeah.
like not make it sexual, just make it like of us actually being comfortable in our own bodies. And then from there on, I just kept doing photo shoots.
Oh, so that's how it started.
Yeah.
Oh, how many years ago was that?
Um, about 3 or 4 now.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So you're like pretty new into photography,
Yeah.
but like, what surprised me is that you've actually like found your own unique style like quite quickly. And
Yeah.
like me, I've been taking photos for like, I don't know, probably 8 years now, and I've only just pretty much found my style, I'd say. But yeah, if for you guys listening, check out her work at what's your Instagram?
Milky Hyde.
Milky Hyde, and specifically the Punk Studios shoot. That was the one that really kind of drew my attention. It just looked like such a fun shoot. You shot like how many models?
I don't know.
So it's
how many
like
that is.
5 or 6
Yeah, we
models.
had quite a lot, and we were meant to have more than that. It was meant to be around 10, but quite a few people couldn't make it on the day because obviously there was so many of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just from what it looked like, you shot it on like a very wide angle lens, or
Yeah. I think I actually had flipped a lens around and used the wrong way to shoot it.
really.
I can't even remember what lens
Oh.
it was. I just got it from a vintage store, and I was like, sick.
So you didn't even attach it to the
No,
body.
I was
You
just
just
holding
flipped it
it.
around.
Yeah, I was just holding it the whole time.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
like so innovative. But yeah, I just one of those shots in particular that kind of drew my attention was you must have been lying on the floor or something, and then all that crowding around, like
Yeah.
kind of coming right into the lens.
Yeah, I
And
actually got a video of us doing that. And they're all just like screaming at me.
yeah,
And I was just like, 1, 2, 3. And then they all just yell in my face.
fully yell at it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
super sick. One of the guys actually came up with that idea. He was just like, hey, I have this idea. Like, what if we all like lean over you and yell at you? And I was like, that would be so sick. Please
Yeah.
do that. Like, and
I
then we
love
shot.
how they're all just like in your face. Like
Yeah.
you can like really feel the energy from looking at that photo. It's
Yeah,
so sick.
it was so fun. And like everyone was just like, oh, clearly you have an obsession with mouths. And I was like, I feel like yelling is very big, like in punk culture anyway. And like it's for
Yeah.
punk. So
Yeah.
that's what we like based it around. And like a lot of the inspo we had, people were yelling. And like it just like makes more emotion in the photo rather than it just being like the
Yeah,
face
just
smiling.
or
Yeah.
like posing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why your work really stands out to me, because it's like different, and it's like most people, I guess they're trying, I guess if it's for a brand, they're trying to like look a certain way, but for yours, everyone's just like enjoying themselves, having
Yeah.
fun, like screaming into the lens, like, and you can just tell that it was, such a fun shoot to do.
Yeah, like with most of my photo shoots, I get people to I'm just like, be comfortable and just like, but like be crazy at the same time. Like, I don't want you to just be like too comfortable. Like step
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone, but like be yourself in the
Yeah.
photos, because like it'll show if you're not being yourself.
Yeah, I try and do that with my subjects as well. Just like get experimental with them rather than
Yeah.
like me telling them like the whole time like do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
I'm just like let's because I feel like it's a creative exchange, even if it's a model. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they're vibing a certain pose, and it's just all about collaborating on the shoot rather than directing them.
For sure. It definitely shows if like a model wants to do a certain pose, like you can see that in their face they're way more confident, and it makes the photo way better if they're like really happy with the pose.
Yeah, if like they're having fun, then the shoot's gonna like come out better.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you find at that shoot with all those models, like everyone was kind of coming up with ideas and like
Yeah,
that sort of thing?
Definitely. It was actually like we had a bit like too much fun. Like sometimes I was like, hey guys, we've got to get back to shooting. Like, and like everyone would be off like chatting, and I'd be like, guys, I really got to get this photo. Like, come back. But yeah, everyone was coming up with little ideas. People were like, there was one of Connor, and he was like standing next to this like light pole on the rooftop, and he was just like up there swinging because Connor's like a little monkey. And he was like, take a photo of me. And I was like, oh, okay. But it actually turned out really cool, and we all loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen some of your work, and like interestingly, you sell it on Depop, which I haven't seen. I think Depop's mostly for clothes.
Yeah.
But you sell your photos on there as well.
Yeah. So because I have like a lot of vintage clothes, I would like always sell them once I stop wearing them. But because I already built a following on Depop, it was pretty easy to just like transition over to that for like selling my like creative work as well, because I already know how to use it, and like people already follow my Depop, so it's just been like, oh, here's some posters if you guys want them.
Have you sold any of your work on that?
Yeah, I actually just sold one of my illustrations, and I've sold a few of the like photography ones.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't really push it that much because I'm a bit lazy with it.
Oh yeah. And you edit them quite a lot? Like is this in Photoshop or?
Yeah, I do it all in Photoshop. Just everything's in Photoshop. It's the only thing I know how to use. So it works pretty well. I know a lot of my photography as well is like very in your face. Like there's that one of Ben, and he's just got like teeth showing, and then like teeth are in the background as well. And people are like, oh, I really love the shot, but like I don't want teeth in my house. And I'm like, fair enough. I want teeth in my house though. So I got like a massive B1 size poster of it in my room, and it looks sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's your kind of like process? Because it almost reminds me of almost like scrapbooking.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like you do lots of layers.
Yeah. I pretty much, because I get super bored easily with photos, and that's why like when I do photo shoots, I only get a few photos from each shoot. I'll take like 500 photos and like come out with like 3 pictures, like fully properly edited to like my standard, and then I'll just do like extra edits. But yeah, like I like to like keep adding to it, and I'll spend hours, like I'll be up to like 5 a.m. just being like, oh, but this idea, and then I'm like, I'll keep editing until I get it. And like, because I don't actually like understand anything on Photoshop, like but I know that like certain things do things, but like I don't understand it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just keep playing around with everything until it works, and I'm like, oh, cool.
So like because that's pretty cool, because even with your photography, you didn't have like formal training or whatever, or Photoshop. Did you just teach that yourself?
Yeah, everything myself.
So I guess in a way, because when I went to uni for photography, they do kind of like put you in a box a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it was a good thing for you, because you're not kind of limiting yourself at all. You're just like basically going off your own creativity, and you're not like, oh, I can't do this. You're just like, put this layer on, chuck this in Photoshop, and just do it. Yeah,
I think that's like definitely what helps with my photography, because like if I did some of the stuff I did in, like if I went to uni and whatever and did like how I edit, they'd be like, why are you doing that? That is completely wrong.
Like wrong, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like how it looks, like it's fun.
Yeah.
So like the curves and stuff, I just like mess around with it for ages, and then I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
How did you start using Photoshop? Was it for your illustrations or?
I don't even know. I think I had started on Lightroom because I liked making blue into like a more teal color.
Yeah.
Like that was.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So I always used Lightroom, and then I was like, oh, this is very limiting now. So then I moved to Photoshop, and then like I've had friends like teach me little things along the way, like selecting and masking people. That's pretty much it. that I've learned. But then the rest, I just like mess around with it for ages.
So you just like kind of play around with it until you get bored with one thing, and then you move on.
Yeah.
Keep moving on. Yeah, I think that's why you found your like style.
Yeah.
So quick, because you just like constantly, you get bored with it, and then you have to learn reinvent and learn a new way to like express your photography.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get bored of stuff super fast, and I really love change. So like constantly looking for like the next thing that I'm gonna do.
Where did your like creativity start? Did you like when you were young? Were you quite sketching and stuff, or?
So like, I've always been really creative, but I have a processing disorder. So I only use like, how there's like the right and the left side of your brain. Yeah. I don't have the like side that's like English and maths and everything. That doesn't work at all for me.
Yeah, I think same.
Yeah. And basically, like with my processing disorder, obviously a lot of people would be raised like when you're like autistic.
So that's what I have. Like honestly, that's probably what I have.
Yeah, like you're raised being like when you have autism, you're raised and people are like, oh, they're autistic. And my mum didn't want that for me. She didn't want people to know that I had a processing disorder. She just wanted me to be raised as a normal person.
Is that on the autism spectrum?
It's not on the autism spectrum. It's like there's autism, like all that over here, and then there's like the normal brain, and I'm dead in the middle.
Oh yeah.
So like, I just can't process when it comes to like my emotions and stuff. I do it super weirdly, and like how I decide to do things. It's like the weirdest way possible, and everyone's like, "Why would she do it that way?" But how did that work? And how did she do it so fast? So that's like probably why I do all my photography and everything, how I do it. But yeah, my mum didn't want me to be raised that way, so she kind of just like let me go and do whatever I wanted. And then I ended up being homeschooled, and I was like, "Can you give me some paints?" And I just started painting from there. And then I was like, "Can I have a camera?" Like saved up, bought myself a camera, and then
I can kind of see it now, because looks like your creativity is like not limited. So even from a young age, like you weren't put in like the school system so much, so like you weren't limited, and your parents seemed like they weren't kind of putting you in a box sort of thing.
Yeah, my mum wanted me to just be my own person, and she was like, go with it, go do what you got to do. Definitely for me, like I think it's helped more so having my processing disorder. We don't know what it is. We couldn't, like everyone we saw, they were just like, don't even bother. Like if you're going to raise her this way, you don't need to know what it is, because it's just going to put a label on her and she'll adapt. Like like the symptoms type thing, or like like I'll look it up myself.
Have you been like actually diagnosed, or you just
I've been diagnosed with a processing disorder, but it costs like thousands of dollars to work out exactly which one it was, because I'd have to get brain scans and everything, and my mum was going to raise me this way anyway, so she was like, fuck it, who cares? And I'm so glad she did that. Yeah, because like now I'm just like, oh cool, I'm just this creative person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not good to kind of have that label. You just got to like figure yourself out, and then now you have your own label, which is like you're creative, which and I'm probably somewhat on the spectrum, like, because in primary school, just maths and science and like those technical subjects, I just wouldn't focus on them. Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting, because like the really technical, like I love listening to podcasts on like quantum physics and science, but like I could never actually do like the written, just like math or whatever.
Yeah, for me it like was just like, it just didn't make sense. Like I would like, they'd say teach me it so many different ways. You just like zone out? Like you just like, no, your brain's just like I'd be listening, I'd be like, yep, that's it, and then I'd be like, what? Like what just happened? What did they just tell me? Like it made no sense. Or like they'd explain it and I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like that's cool, but
did you gravitate more to just more creative subjects in while you were
at school?
Well, you were completely homeschooled since primary school?
No, so I did primary school, and then in high school I went to like start of year 10, and then I started homeschooling. So I did homeschooling for the last like 3 years of school. But yeah, like at high school and everything, I always did visual arts, always. And I did sports quite a lot as well. But yeah, it was pretty much always the arts that I did, and never really anything else.
Do you have influences for your creativity? Like,
my grandpa paints, but like that's pretty much the only person in my family.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just like, how do you come up with? Like you said, music as well, music and your friends, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because for me, like, if I'm, you know, if there's a certain project, I've got to like research. I've got to like look into look at other creators' work. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I get inspired. But for you, it seems like just comes from within, or just the people around you. You don't like. Do you go on Instagram and like save stuff and be like, oh, that's cool, I like that?
Yeah, like I save heaps of stuff, mainly Pinterest actually. Like I really focus on Pinterest, but most of the times like my best shots and stuff like that have just come from me just being like, what if we did this?
Just experimenting.
Yeah, and then like if I ever like try and do something that I've found on Pinterest or whatever, it doesn't really work, and I'm usually like, oh, this sucks. Like this isn't a good shot, and then like I'll find the random shot that I got by accident, and I'm like, oh, cool, that one's fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And because you've got your main account, which you show more photos, and then you've also got your illustrations.
Yeah, Milky Online.
Yeah, Milky Online. How long have you been doing like illustrations and stuff?
The ones that I do at the moment, like a month.
Really?
Yeah, I actually started drawing on the iPad because I wanted to draw over photos. So I wanted to add it, like incorporate it in my photography. So I wanted to like add stuff to the photos because there actually is someone on Instagram. I can't remember his name. I think it's something in my mind. I can't remember it though. But he does a lot of like drawing and stuff. Like it looks like he's just like journaling with the photos.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like get that sort of vibe going. And then like as I started to do it, I just like ended up drawing these little elf ladies and then like bunny ladies, and then it just kept going from there. I was like, wow, this is actually really fun.
Oh, cool. Like even for the elves, like you didn't see a movie or like.
Nah.
No, you just like.
I've always drawn elf ladies though. Like if I'm doodling, I'll draw a little elf.
Oh, cool.
There's a piece of paper, and like my partner Connor, you know him.
Yeah.
I used to leave him letters if I was at his house without him, and I draw like little pictures of us as elves and everything.
Did your grandparents ever do that? Like
Nah.
little drawings?
Nah, my
okay.
Grandpa used to draw lighthouses. That was the
okay.
only thing he ever drew.
Because my grandpa was an artist as well, and yeah, he used to do like little doodles for my grandma and stuff.
Oh, really?
Because I'm trying to figure out, because where your inspiration comes from. But yeah, it just seems like, it just comes to you, or you're just basically experiment.
Yeah, just noggin thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Have you ever exhibited your work?
I did Cypher about 2-3 years ago, where we did like, there was about 5 or 6 creatives, and we all just did whatever we wanted, and like we all had our own separate rooms.
So who was in it? Yeah, I want to hear about Cypher, because I think I saw something on YouTube about it, and it looked it just looked like an amazing local Perth event, and I was like, damn, I missed that.
Yeah, it was super fun. Zach actually recorded all that. I had no idea who Zach was, and he just showed up at one of the like setup days, and I was like, who is this dude? Why is he here? Like, and no one had told me anything. Yeah, I was legit like, who is he? Why is he here? And then he ended up coming out with a sick video, so I was like, whatever, cool, it's fine that he was there every single day, even though we had like
how did it start? Like
so I had a photo shoot with Ken and like 5 other models, and we were just in a studio, and like everyone had their set colors. Like Ken was red, I think, and then there was 2 reds, and then blue, purple, pink, yellow, and
so
orange.
Did you have to stick to that color when it came to your art, or
like it was basically about, like we just styled them in clothing that was those colors, and like everyone just had their set color, and then like we did the shoot, and it was super sick, and then at the end of it I was like, I actually don't want to just post this on Instagram and like continue with my day. Like I want to do an exhibition for this. Like I want to showcase it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then Ken was there. Ken was one of the models, so I was pretty much like, do you want to be in it? Like you're a photographer, like do you want to show your work? And he was like, yeah, okay. So then from there on we like asked other people, and we got like Alex, alex.com.au, he does photography in on it. Dan Crivelli, but his Instagram's Trivelli. He does like videography. He had like a 6 space set up. It actually had like all the walls were painted black, like ceiling, floor, walls were all painted black. And he had like...
You painted them black, or they were just...
No, they were just already black. We got super lucky with it. And he had like old TVs showing all his videos.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it was super cool.
So you guys like went all out
on
this like exhibition, and How long did it take to set it all up?
It took about 2 weeks to set up, and we were there like day and night, like sleeping there, like just on the floor. I was doing Tafe and working at the time as well, so I was just going in between the three.
Is that all in the city?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Everything was in the city, but I live in Joondalup, so I'd have to go home, get changed, and shower, and then come back.
Oh, yeah.
But then there was also like Courtney involved. She worked with me. She did like little illustrations back then. And then halfway through, we had like this guy graffitiing Cypher on the wall. It was just one of Alex's friends, and he was like doing a massive Cypher graffiti on the wall. And then we're like, wait, that's sick. Like, be a part of it. So then he had his own thing, and he like graffitied all the walls with all these like Ronald McDonald characters and stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So like there was no limit to the creativity you could do.
Nah, we did whatever we wanted. Yeah.
And what was the goal of the exhibition?
We just wanted to show our work, and we wanted to like build a little creative scene for Perth and like meet new people and stuff like that. And we had like a DJ come, and it was just super cool. Like it was such a fun event.
It looked like a really good, just based on the video, it looked like an amazing turnout, and everyone just seemed to have like so much fun at the exhibition. And that's what I like about those sort of exhibitions, because people are actually, enjoying themselves interacting with the space rather than just like going, observing the art. And it's like, it's not as interactive.
Yeah, like we wanted it to start as like the exhibition, so people would actually look at the work, and then later on we had the DJ going, and then like everyone could just chill out, like dance, do whatever they wanted. So like I think we had like a set time, like you had to be there by a certain time or else you wouldn't come in. And we like sold tickets beforehand. We actually had a line going down Barrack Street.
Wow.
It was sick. Like we did not expect it.
How did you get the word out? Did you do much advertising?
We all posted on Instagram like every single day, and then we actually made up posters, and when you like get the glue and you like stick it to walls, we did that everywhere, and we had it on the floors, we had it on the walls, like all throughout Freo, all throughout Perth, like and it was just like message this person on Instagram to get a ticket.
Maybe that's like the way to do it, like the OG, just posters and
that's what we
like
wanted. Yeah, because it was like it was 90s themed. So everyone did their work around 90s themed. Like one of the rooms had like Skate 3 going.
Or you can actually play Skate 3.
Yeah, like people go in and play, and then we had like
cool.
bean bags, lava lamps everywhere, like old TVs, like everything.
When was this?
Oh my God, I think it was like November 2017.
2017. Oh, okay.
Ages ago, yeah.
Like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe 2018. That feels like too long ago. I don't know though, but yeah.
Had you ever been to anything like that before?
No, I hadn't actually, which is super random. Like I think I just always wanted to do it. So like I was just like, just guess it along the way.
Like I'm not sure if you've been to any other states or like whatever, but where do you think the creative scene in Perth is like at the moment? Like
I feel like there's so many different little like creative groups going on at the moment. Like you've got like the older group that's like the Garbage TV style group who do all like fashion. Like I remember they made some furniture at one point, I'm pretty sure, and then they do the big events. Like they're probably the biggest creative event there is. And then like I reckon everyone's pretty like separated at the moment. I remember there was a time where everyone was like super like all the creators were just together all the time, but I think as everyone grew older.
When do you think that was?
Probably when I did Cypher, to be honest. I feel like that's when the creative scene was getting the most like hype. Like everyone really wanted to be around it. Like everyone was supporting it. And now everyone's kind of just gone to uni and like jobs and stuff. It's like less all together.
Have you been to any other states, and how do you think the Perth creative scene compares to like other places?
I was in Melbourne for a while. I moved over there and then COVID hit and we came back. So I didn't actually get to meet any of the creators over there, which sucked. Like we had plans to do shoots or like stuff like that and then had to come back because COVID hit. But I haven't gone to Brisbane yet, but I have a lot of creative friends over there that I've met, and their creative scene seems like it's really like tight, and they all do events together. Like everyone knows each other, which I think is in Brisbane. Yeah, I think that's super sick. Like It seems like it's really good over there, and like I feel like the Brisbane creative scene interacts with the Perth scene a lot, which I think is really cool. Like
I haven't noticed that. Because even here at District, they started a event over there. Because we got a lot of DJs that work in this space, and they went over there to start an event and connected with Brisbane DJs, and now they're like coming back here. But yeah, they also mentioned that there is quite a creative scene over there.
Yeah, sure.
But I think in Perth, like, we've got so many amazing creatives, but because I guess we're so spaced out, like, for example, I'm in Fremantle, you're in Joondalup.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we're the most isolated city.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of one limiting factor.
For sure.
By going, because I just went to one, like that BB99 event, that, were you at that or not?
I went to it. I wasn't in it though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that was the first, I think it was the first like actual Perth creative event that I went to, and I was like, oh, it looks really cool. Like, it's awesome photography work there. So I was like, I'll go check it out. And then I met like so many people, and I was like, oh, I should probably be doing this more often, like, you know, connecting with more creatives, and like that's how you can like learn and you know, grow your creative skills and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to do another creative event, because that was like genuinely the funnest 2 weeks of my life, and like everyone who was there, like everyone loved it. And it's like a good way to reach other creatives, is just doing those events, and like spending that one-on-one time together, setting it all up is like next level. It's so fun. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do another one in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Even my friend and I were thinking about doing something similar. I just loved just being in that space and having, you know, all the different creative avenues kind of happening at once, like people selling their own fashion, their own prints, their illustrations, T-shirts. Yeah. And yeah, it just kind of shows the creative talent that we've got here. But it's just a matter of like coming to one place and like meeting up with them. Yeah. Yeah.
I think like it's super sick. I was meant to be in her like recent one, but pulled out of it. But I want to do my own for sure.
Your own exhibition.
Yeah.
Are you like, you work part-time or?
I work casual, so I was working pretty much nearly 50 hours a week up until like 2 weeks ago, and then I quit my day job and only do bartending 3 nights a week now. So super chill now. I have all my days to myself, which is nice.
Do you want to make your creativity like your full-time?
Yeah, for sure. I think my plan is to do tattooing, so I want to be a tattooist and get an apprentice. But I don't want to do photography as my job. Yeah. I just like find that it like makes it unenjoyable when it's like constant, just like paid stuff.
Yeah. You do feel like you wouldn't, you'd be limited to your own creative, like having it as a creative outlet?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I like working with Punk. Like, he just trusts me and is like, do what you gotta do. Like, I like trust that you'll do something sick. But I have worked with other like fashion labels and stuff like that who have been super limiting, and have just taken the fun out of it and made it non-enjoyable.
Yeah, that is the thing with like getting paid with like creative work, because once you're getting paid by someone, it's like almost like you're under their kind of command in a way. So it can feel limiting, and like the whole reason you do your creative work is like you're trying to like express yourself through your work. Yeah. So that's why I guess it's good to find those like clients that, you know, let you express yourself in like your creative way, because it actually works so much better when you can do that.
Yeah, and that's like why I like building those connections with people, where I can just like, they trust me, they know I'll do a good job, and like we're actually just friends, rather than it's like this company's hiring me to do their photography, because then I'm like,
yeah, I think it works better that way. So how did you make that connection with the Brisbane brand?
I think I'm pretty sure he just reached out and was like, can I send you clothes? I honestly can't remember. We've been just like talking on Instagram for ages and following each other. Yeah, Punk Studios. So Jacob reached out and was like, can I send you like a little thing that I'm going to drop and you take some photos of it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, that sounds sick. He sent me through like what I could pick from. Cool. Yeah, and then he sent like the package, but he didn't actually end up releasing those ones. So he sent like 3 packages, just being like, do you want to shoot these? And I'd be like, yeah, sick, let's do it. So it's been super fun.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And are you selling, so you're selling your photos as prints on Depop, and then are you also selling your illustrations or?
Yeah, so I sell my illustrations as either tattoo designs or you can also buy prints. But I'm planning on doing stickers and stuff as well, like a little sticker pack of all of them. But yeah, at the moment I've just been selling them as tattoo designs, and then I've sold a few prints of them.
So what, I guess, you want to make kind of tattooing your main creative career?
Yeah. I think that'd just be like sick. I've bought a tattoo gun and everything, but obviously I gotta wait till I have the apprenticeship to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just gonna practice on fake skin at the moment. But yeah, I think because I wasn't gonna sell any of my drawings to people because I wanted to tattoo them myself. But then I was like, kind of like wasting it because like I probably won't be able to tattoo people for like a year or so. So I've been selling them now, and then like also do custom stuff.
And you only started that 3 months ago?
More like a month ago.
Just the illustrations or?
Yeah, like a month and a half ago, the illustrations. I haven't been doing it for long at all. So it's been fun. I like it.
Cool. And do you like, for me when because I haven't started selling any prints or anything like that. But I guess I kind of struggle to put that price tag on my work sort of thing. I don't know if you know what I mean, but did you kind of feel like that for your work, or you're just like, no, I want to make money from my creativity. I want to like.
Nah, it's been super hard to price my work. Especially like prints because like I know how much I'm paying to get them developed, and like you want to make some sort of profit off of it, but you also don't want the profit to be tiny.
Yeah.
Like you don't want it to be like $3.
Yeah.
But then people want, like a lot of people don't understand that if you're buying a print of someone's work or if you're buying a tattoo design, that's their work. Like it's really hard to let go of that and just be like, oh, it's yours now. Like,
yeah.
Especially for the tattoo designs, because once they've bought that, that's theirs. Like I can't.
It's on there forever. Yeah.
But like also like I think about it, I'm like, sick, my art is on someone. That is so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so hard to price. Like I think I base my price off of like other creatives that I'm surrounded by or other creatives that I bought stuff off of. Ken actually helps me a lot with pricing with photography. Like I have no idea with photography. It's so hard. But I definitely base it off of like the relationship I want to build with those people. But illustrations, it's always such a hit or miss. Like I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to pricing that.
Oh, okay. So you kind of look at your friends around you, what they're charging.
Yeah.
And you go from that. So with illustrations, why do you think it's harder to? Is it because they're gonna get tattooed, or is it just selling them as prints? Or
I think like the prints, it's fine, but when you're selling it as a tattoo, you're like, damn, that person's gonna have that forever. Or if I'm like designing something for a company, like they're making profit off of that like for a long period of time, while I just got this one payment. So it's like trying to work out how much profit they're gonna make off of it, but also like respecting myself as an artist and understanding how much time and like passion goes into that and like the creativity, because at the end of the day, like especially with illustrations, it's very unique, and they're not, if they really want your work, they're going to pay what you want them to pay, and they're going to respect that. And I found that with photography, like a brand reached out to me recently and I just kind of asked them what their budget was, and then they gave me it, and I was like, that's okay, like I'll do that. And then like they reached back like a week later and was like, actually no, like let's double it, like you're worth way more than that. And I was like, sick, like that's so good. So like I've realized now that people are going to be willing to pay for your things because they want you to do it. Like they're not going to be able to go to someone else and get exactly how you do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like part confidence, part seeing what people around you doing, and part I guess negotiation with the brand.
Yeah, and also just like understanding your worth, I guess, because being a creative is so like unique. And everyone's so different with it. Like you're never going to find the exact same style in each person. Like there's always going to be something slightly different. So I think it's worth like putting a price on yourself that's pretty high. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because at the end of the day, as you said, no one creates the exact same work that you can.
Yeah.
So I guess it's important to have that, price, know your worth sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, I've even like done stuff for other brands where I've edited something and then they've like tried to keep recreating that, and people have like sent it to me and been like, hey, what happened with this edit? Like,
Yeah.
were you really
It
trying
just
with this? And I'm
doesn't-
like, I didn't do that. Like, they were trying to do it, and they've been like, oh yeah, you can tell that it wasn't you. So like, at the end of the day, people are going to pay you because you're good at your own style.
Yeah. I think that's why, because like when would you say you found your style in photography?
Pretty much soon as I moved away from, like I said, how we shot the like body positivity type thing to get girls having body confidence. Once I moved away from that and started like being a bit more experimental, like there was definitely like a set style, which is like the wide lens. That definitely started up pretty much straight away. And then my editing, I've always pretty much put like where I do like the same person, multiple of them in one photo. Like I've always done that. Like I've always loved that. So I think that's pretty much like my set style, and like just if I like do a photo and I'm like, this would look so sick in my room, like that's how I know that I actually like it. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. And again, there's no like influence from like scrapbooking or sticking things. It's like purely just try it. You got bored with it, try it again kind of thing. Oh,
pretty
wow.
much. I've always journaled, but like in my journals it's super like got little photos and doodles everywhere. But that's pretty much it. Like with photography, it's just been like adding stuff in and hoping that it looks cool. And if it does, I'm like, oh, I'll do that again later on.
Do you ever get like creative block?
I've had like one big creative block where I stopped doing photography for over a year. And that was when I was doing photography for cheap.
Oh, you did photography, like clothes photography.
So I got hired at cheap for doing their photography. That was the reason I got hired.
Just straight product shots, or like actually you had to shoot models?
Like shooting the models for the Instagram, and then once we did a website, I did the product shots as well.
So it was like that was the cheap website.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's cool.
But for the Instagram mainly, it was just like a lot of the girls were just like super not my style of like what I'd shoot.
Yeah.
The poses weren't like very like out there, and like it just got a bit limiting. So then that made me have like a huge creative block. It made me not enjoy photography, and I was like, I don't want to be a photographer anymore.
So once it's in that kind of like box of like, oh, shoot it like this, every single time, you're just like, that's not for me.
Yeah, it like ruins it for me. Same with like I did visual arts at Tafe for a bit, and that like killed it. Like I stopped drawing completely. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
So obviously, because you work at cheap and you're also into like op shopping, the kind of the fashion scene.
Yeah.
Do you find that there is a sort of style and theme kind of in Perth? Like, how do you find like the fashion scene here?
Well, I think like everyone's super like unique and individual, but like there is the set like style at the moment with like the alt kids and like the e-girls and everything like that, which is just very like alternative and like really out there. Yeah,
like the alt kids, because I actually was super interested in the alt scene here, and for those listening who don't know, there's like a subculture of kids in Perth and probably in other states, I'm not too sure, but they all dress up in like almost emo, like super emo out there clothing. I'm just trying to think what they wear. They wear like chains, jewelry. Some of them wear like bones as earrings. I've seen they do like full white face makeup.
Yeah, like
and they're
wigs.
just like so out there. Have you kind of seen those people around?
Yeah, well, like when I worked at Cheap, that was like a huge part of our customer base. And they would always come in, like each time they would look completely different. Like they'd change their wig, they'd change how they wore their makeup, like they'd had shaved their head the next week. Like always super different, and you could never tell if it was the same person or not. But that was a like very big part of our customer base, and like it is definitely a huge part of the Perth community at the moment with the younger kids, like around anywhere from 12 to like 16, I'd say.
Yeah, that younger audience, because it's like you've got one side of it and they're all very left and they want to like help the environment, and I've seen them at like protests and stuff. So a lot of it's kind of like quite positive, I guess. But then you do have that other side that seemed to be like, troublemaker scene.
Yeah.
Into like maybe substance abuse from what I saw, sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think because when I worked at Cheap, a lot of we were super strict on shoplifting, and a lot of them stole from us. That was pretty much if an alt group came in, we're like, oh shit, they're gonna steal from us, and they always did every single time. But yeah, when we would be talking to them and giving them their banning notices or whatever, we do call the police. Well, they did call the police, don't work there anymore. But they would always be like, please don't. My parents can't know. That home situation is really bad.
The connection between, I guess because they're teenagers and they still live at home, that sort of thing. But there is the connection between how they behave and their parents caring about them. And that's what I noticed by talking to them.
Yeah, I think a lot of them is a rebelling sort of stage in their life. The things at home aren't very good, and then they express that throughout through their fashion and how they act and everything. So then I'd say them stealing or stuff like that would be their little rebellious side coming out because things aren't that great at home.
Definitely.
I think it also just comes from being surrounded by it being such a trend at the moment to be that style, that would also influence them quite a bit, and TikTok and everything, e-girls and old kids at the moment.
Yeah, because I noticed on TikTok, there were a lot of them popping up, and they were doing alt kids meetups.
Yeah,
and I was I wanted to go and take photos of them and document the subculture.
Yeah,
but you do notice a lot of them. They dress in that totally out there fashion. Go into public and do make TikToks, which is super interesting.
Yeah, it's so different. From when I went through my emo phase growing up, I'd hide in my bedroom and do eyeliner, and then someone walking in, I'd be like, oh my god, I'm wearing all this black eyeliner.
But these guys are just
now
out there
they're
in
out
the
there.
city.
They don't care.
But I guess what I admire is well, for the nice ones anyway, they going out there. They're not afraid to express themselves in a certain way in fashion, which is interesting, and it reminds me of in Japan. I think in Shibuya there's a certain group of people that dress up in out there fashion, which is against the societal norms of what people normally wear.
Yeah, that's.
I've got to find the name. I forget. Let's look it up.
It's Gwen Stefani was super influenced by the Harajuku Girls over in Japan.
Oh, is it Harajuku Girls?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And they dress up in really out there fashion.
Yeah, that's the Harajuku Girls. Yeah, they're sick. And if you see Gwen Stefani's music videos, they're all she's got these two Harajuku girls who are always in them. And they're always super out there, and you can see how it's influenced her fashion. Gwen Stefani was super out there for who she was. She had the blue hair, and then she had bikini tops and everything on, and I think she got that from being surrounded by the Harajuku Girls for sure.
Yeah. And I think as a creative, that's something I admire. I think that's something that's a certain skill that I think is good for creatives, not being afraid to express yourself out there.
Especially just every day, just being your actual self and trying new things with fashion and makeup.
Because I guess that's what I experienced when I was learning about fashion. You have to you learn about one style of clothing, and then you have to actually go out there and wear it and see if it kind of fits with you. Did you find that with yours?
I found with me my fashion changes every single day. I wear hella baggy clothes, and then the next day I'll be wearing this tight mesh dress that has people's faces all over it. Yeah. But one thing that's influenced me with I have no eyebrows. If you watch the video, they're gone.
I thought they were just blonde.
Yeah, they're bleached.
Oh, they're bleached.
But they're pretty much
really
gone.
See them,
yeah, you can't see them if you're just chilling.
Okay.
This influenced me from club kids. They usually bleach their eyebrows. Club kids were the
Is that another
80s.
Subculture?
Yeah, they're from the 80s to 90s. They were in I think Berlin and then New York and all around. It was super underground.
Different.
Yeah, very different. Very inspired by drag queens, I think. Or a lot of drag queens would do it, and they had shaved their head super weirdly, hella unique. They had really out there makeup. I think like it's very similar to the old kids of Perth, but like next level, like to another extent.
So it's almost like people who feel maybe they're like suppressed or whatever in society. It's almost like a rebellion to like go the complete opposite, like just fully express yourself, wear like different clothing and just like walk out there and say, this is who I am, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. And like I think especially with the old kids, if they're growing up in like with a family that is super like keeping them in a box, then they would express themselves like full on.
Yeah, so it's almost like a release of creativity and rebellion, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you, because you said when you grew up, you didn't really have that. Your parents were really supportive in what you were doing.
My mum was super supportive, and she was just like, do whatever you want. But
so you didn't have that rebellion sort of thing, or?
Not really, not at all. Like obviously I went through like my normal childhood stuff, but it was never like I like rebelled. Phase. Yeah, like I never like rebelled in how I expressed myself and how I looked. It was more so like I was just like a little shit.
Yeah.
But like my sister's super like normal person, like dressed.
Oh yeah.
Like respectful
like
and stuff.
Yeah,
complete opposite. She's got long straight brown hair. Like wears normal makeup. Just wears like white tee and jeans that are like fit her properly. And then like she's got like the normal life, like she's gonna get married, have kids and stuff like that. And I'm here like pink mullet, got rid of my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Wearing like fully out there fashion. So I think also going to high school, being surrounded by other normal people, that definitely put a like little restriction on me where I was like, oh, I can't be that out there.
Yeah, high school really.
Yeah.
High school, I guess it was even for me, it did put that restriction on creativity and self-expression.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think as soon as I started homeschooling, I became this whole other person. Like,
so you think it was a really positive thing for you?
Yeah, leaving school was the best thing I ever did. Like I think I definitely got to get started on everything I wanted to do. Like as soon as I left school, I got like a shoot with the Thundermentals support act. We did a shoot before it, which his name was Adrian. He was a sick dude, like the nicest dude ever. And then after our shoot, he was like, do you actually want to just come to the show and do our photography for the shoot? So I did the Thundermentals tour photography for the Perth show, and he wanted me to keep going around Australia with them, but I was like a little 16-year-old, so I couldn't do that.
I think you're just like, honestly, I feel like you're just naturally so talented. Like it seems like you didn't have like formal training for this. You just like dive into it, and you're like creativity is like not restricted at all, you know?
Yeah, that's why like I'm super grateful my mum never like raised me to be in a box. Like she always wanted me to be my own person, and like because I'm like very much like my mum, she always says, but she had to go do that normal life and like everything. So like she's just like letting me live how she would have wanted to.
You probably, in the way, you probably had somewhat of a dream childhood for a creative, like how creatives should be sort of raised.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a lot of creatives I talk to, their parents, you know, because that's the society we're in. Like you go to school, you have math subjects, science, you got to do well on these, you have tests, exams.
Yeah.
But you were put in a very unrestrictive.
Yeah, I think my mom is like a spiritual person. Everyone that meets her is like, I love your mom. Like all my ex-boyfriends are just like, I miss your mom. Mm-hmm. Like it's never like, I miss you, I miss your mom. Like I want your mom back. And I'm just like, oh, it sucks. But my mom is like the best person. Like everyone, just because we have like a pretty big household. Like my best friend lives with us. My sister's boyfriend lives with us. My boyfriend pretty much lives with us now. Everyone will just go sit on the couch, like just go talk to her. That's be so like, cool. Donna, I need advice. What do I do?
Super open and
she knows everything about my life. Like I could talk to her about anything. And then she's just like, I don't want to talk about your sex life right now. Like, get it out of my face. And I'm like, Mom.
It's like too much.
Like, Mom, you put it in weird. But no, like my mom was the most open person and understanding, and I think like that's shown throughout my life as well. Like I've become like a super understanding person now. Like my way of viewing things is like no one's a bad person. People just fuck up.
Yeah.
And like that's why I've always been super like understanding or like forgiving with people when they do stuff to me. Is like you're a person. It's gonna happen naturally.
Yeah.
That's because of how I was raised, and then like with creative things, that's helped so much. Like having her there.
Yeah, I feel like there's almost two worlds. There's like kind of the world that's dominating society in a way is the, put you in a box sort of thing with like the schooling or work or whatever. And especially in Perth, I find it like I've been to like different countries like South Africa and Indonesia and stuff, and even there it's less, feels like you're less in a box, feels like you can be more creative probably too with the culture and that sort of thing. But I feel like the other side is more like spiritual, even like more open to ideas and like dealing with emotions and being sort of free and thinking freely, which I think is important for creativity.
Yeah, for sure. Like so many of my friends, like their parents just don't understand that like they're not wanting to go the normal way and go be like a doctor or something, or like just like an accountant. Like they want to do photography or they want to do music, and like their parents are just like, but go study this. Like won't let them leave the house, or like not letting them move closer to the city or stuff like that. Just like not being understanding of it at all. I think that would suck. I wouldn't be able to handle that. So I got really lucky with my mum, for sure.
Yeah, just not being in a box and restricted.
Yeah, like when people tell me like their parents said no, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, just go do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like they were just like, how do you just go do it? If someone says no, I'm like, this is my life. Like, yeah.
On like a separate topic, do you want to use social media? Like, do you kind of have a goal to kind of grow on social media in order to sell your art and creativity and stuff? Is that?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely trying to grow my social media following. That's for sure. Like I use TikTok to, like I think I've only done 2, but like when I have posted them, they've gone pretty big, of people like seeing my work and be like, wait a second, that's really cool, and then going and following me from that. But yeah, I think TikTok's really helped boost my social media. I think I was like, when I first posted a TikTok, I was at like 3,000, and now I've just hit 5K followers on Instagram.
Oh, so from TikTok,
you that like
kind of post and then they go to your Instagram and follow you there.
That definitely boosted it a lot. Like obviously it's not that big of a following, like in comparison to like some people in Perth, like Alyssa, she's got shit ton. But like just seeing that grow, just from posting a dumb video of myself is insane. Like people seeing the dumb video of me and then being like, oh, she's got a cool personality, and then going to my Instagram and being like, she's talented too. Like let's follow her. That's been super cool.
Yeah, I found the same. Like I started posting like little photography challenge videos, and then from that people would go to my Instagram and my YouTube. So TikTok's definitely an avenue that I should be posting more of, but it's just such a good little platform to get kind of your creative work out there. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's the way to go nowadays. Like even just posting on Instagram, I've noticed like you get shadow banned so randomly. On Instagram.
It's a bit restricted.
Yeah, like I remember at one point I was like, this is like not getting any likes at all. And my friend was like, I haven't seen your post for like 3 months. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I think I'm shadow banned. So then I started posting on TikTok, and then followers started happening and more likes and stuff.
I think a lot of creatives are gravitating towards TikTok because of that. It's not as limiting on the creativity and what you can put out there as Instagram. So creatives naturally kind of go there to express themselves. Yeah, I think it also like you get to show your own personality with it as well. Like it's not like you're just uploading this photo shoot that you did. Like you're there talking to a camera, or you're like got a little quick snippet of yourself, and then you're showing the photography, you're showing the artwork, and then people are like, oh damn, like that's who's behind it all. Yeah. So you're doing sort of vlogs in there, or are you kind of specifically showing how you take photos or illustrations? I just like what I did. I like posted one and it was like, show yourself and then show your art. So it was like a little dumb video of me, like when I was at work one day and I was in like jorts, like one Dutch, like massive shorts and like this little ass top. Yeah, like, and then like I showed my art afterwards and everyone was just like, wow, like your art's sick. We just thought you were this random girl. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty much how I've done both of them. I've only posted 2 with my art in it. And the rest are like dumb videos of me just like dancing. Yeah. So do you plan to like post more of your work to grow that? Yeah, for sure. Once I've done some more, like once I've done more drawings and stuff, I've been planning on it just because like I switched up my illustration style recently where I've like actually started putting color and stuff into it. Like I want to do one that's just full of those. But I take a break from drawing because I strained my eye from not wearing my glasses. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful as a creative out there. Yeah. What's on the horizon for you for your creativity?
Coming up, I've got a shoot with Punk again. We're doing the winter drop shoot, which should be so sick. It's actually inspired, like a lot of the inspo is coming from the Jenko jeans, old magazines, like from the 90s. Have you ever seen them? They're like jeans are fucking massive.
Maybe. Do they wear jorts?
No.
No?
I think they actually sold some, but like, think about like how big like Soulja Boy shorts, but like make those pants. Space pants. Huge.
Do you know space pants?
No.
They're like huge, big.
Yeah, they're like that, but they've got like graphics and shit on it.
That's cool.
It looks
Are they coming back?
I think so.
Damn, the 90s are coming back.
I know. I love big pants, like especially jeans with like random embroidery on
patches and stuff.
I gotta keep touching them.
Do you customize?
Nah, I'm like I like sew some things. Like if I like I bought these random leggings recently. They're so ugly, but they have like a cool design. Like the fabric's really nice. They're just ugly shape, but like I've just started cutting them up and hoping that I can turn it into something.
Doing more shoots and shooting huge pants and wearing huge pants and also.
Well, we're not shooting huge pants. I'm just gonna style them in the huge pants, and then like if you see, you know, when you used to like cover your scrapbook in primary school with that like wrap, and it was like had super random illustrations, and sometimes we'd just have a person with like their background was like
you want to like layer your photos
with,
you just like nail the vibe as a photographer. I think you have to like feel, you have to communicate with feeling to the audience what you're trying to communicate.
Like this is the inspo for this shoot.
Oh, that's so sick. It reminds me of like a PS2 game as well.
Like just like I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna style them in the pants that I'm wearing now. Yeah.
You should just like play some GTA. For inspiration. Yeah. You've definitely inspired me to kind of think differently about how I can present my photography, and like even like I want to add little like layers of like film on top and like get more experimental, because I think that's how you can really like have fun and keep yourself interested in photography.
Like, I think constantly switching it up and trying new things just like keeps the passion going, and like every now and then you're gonna have like a break where you're just like, I don't really have any ideas right now, but like that's chill, like that's normal. Yeah. Like, you're not always gonna have constant ideas, so it's like always good to take a little break, even if you just like. What I want to start doing is taking like a little tiny camera around with me, like if I go to like a rave or something, just taking photos and then like trying to edit them or whatever.
Just experimenting with. Because like what camera are you using at the moment?
Canon 600D.
600D, and then you said you use the lens like opposite ways, and you like experiment. So you like experimenting with different cameras and. Yeah,
like I constantly like if I go to an op shop or I go to like a vintage store, there's like this store in Fremantle actually, Old Values. Have you gone there?
Man, I've lived in Fremantle my whole life and I don't know this place.
Anyway. No, it is so nice. They like the lady that loves me. Every time I go in, she's like, "Can I take a picture of you?" And like put it on the Instagram. I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Fine." Oh my god, I touched it again. But yeah, they like sometimes have lenses just around, and like they don't fit my camera, but I'm like, I'll make this work. Like,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I like about your creativity as well is you're not restricted by the gear as well. A lot of people are like, I don't have the latest camera, so I can't do this shoot. But you're just literally like, fuck, turn this lens around and just put it on and make it look like a fisheye.
Tape it real quick.
Yeah. Just so cool. It's just like unrestricted creativity.
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, I don't think if I did things properly, I'd be a bit bored. Like this bit of the struggle of not knowing what I'm doing that helps with it. Like I'll be doing a shoot and I'll be like Ben or Ken, I'll be like, "Can you guys help me? I have no idea what settings to do right now." And they'll just be like, "Oh, give me the camera." And I'm like, "Thanks, guys." And I'm just like, "Cool, it worked." Like, so
you kind of just bring the camera, you're just experimenting the whole time. You're not saying like, for the best. "Oh, this ISO is going to cause like this grain."
I have no idea what any of that means at all. That's no awesome. Understanding at all. Like any camera settings, I'm just like, it does something. Like
you just look at the picture and you're like, "That's sick."
Yeah, if the picture looks good, or like I know that like. I actually don't know. I was going to say I know which way makes it go brighter or darker, and I just don't.
And you don't care either. You're just all about like...
If the shot looks good, I'll make it work. Like I'll be able to edit it to look good. And like I don't care if my stuff's bad quality either. Like if it's bad quality, sometimes it makes the picture look cooler.
Yeah, because it's basically if you like it, if you like the vibe and you're happy with what you've captured, that's, it's done. It makes finished work,
Yeah, like... I don't think I've ever really understood the settings on a camera, and I've just always hoped for the best. Like I started shooting on like a power shot that was actually for like safaris when you're going on like a safari trip.
I love how experimental you are. Like makes me rethink how I want to approach things. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't do it any other way. It just, like, confused me. I'd be like, what is going on? Like,
I guess it's that you kind of like avoiding that technical aspect, like
yeah.
diving into settings too much, quality too much. Like, you're just all about like the feeling of the photograph, which is actually the most important thing. It's not about the gear. It's not about like how crisp the sharpness is or whatever. It's about the feeling of the photo.
That's like one thing. Like, I see people's photos and I'm like, how do they look like it's like a real person there? And it's not just like a screen. Like, you can actually see their skin and stuff. It's not like grained, but like, I don't really care if I can get that or not. Like, as long as the picture look good. And like, I really care about poses and like facial expressions and stuff. So like, that's where I'm also like good at it. And then every now and then my friends will be like, let me help you with the like settings on your camera real quick. And I'm like, thank you. I had no idea what was going on.
That's awesome. When do you know you've got the shot?
I don't think I ever like go, yeah, I've got the shot. I'm like when I'm editing, that's when I know I've got the shot. Like if I'm editing it, I'm like, this is the one. Like this is the main focus from this shoot. And I'm constantly like morphing multiple photos together. Like, because I usually shoot with groups of models. I'm not really good when it's just one-on-one. I get super bored of the model. Not that I get bored of the model, but I'm just
it's more difficult. It's less like collaborative.
Yeah. And like, I'm just like, I don't want to keep posting the same model over and over again, which is like something Connor struggles with. He's always like, can we do a shoot? And I'm like, I don't always want to shoot with you, Connor.
Yeah.
If I'm only posting
so you got to be like
I'm
switching it up.
Yeah, like
gotta have new, kind of new models, new colors, new styles.
Yeah, which is like one thing I struggle in Perth is because like there's so many people here, but also so little.
Yeah.
Like people that are wanting to model and stuff. So I'm constantly using the same people. But like that's when I would usually take a break if I'm like, I've used everyone. Like I have no models. No one's interesting to me anymore. And then someone here will pop up and I'm like, oh sick, they can model for me.
Yeah.
Or like what I used to do in Cheap is like someone would walk in and I'd be like, hey, do you have Instagram?
Just scout them.
Yeah. And then like I'd forget to message them and it'd be like 3 years and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I saw you months ago and I actually never reached out. But yeah, like I think, I don't know. It's just all about poses for me, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was like super interesting learning about all these different creative avenues that you're doing. And now you're going into like tattooing and stuff, which is super cool.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Everybody make sure you check her out on Instagram at Milky Hyde, is it?
Milky Hyde, yeah.
And illustrations at Milky Online.
Milky Online with a 0.
I'll leave all the links and everything in the show notes. Catch you in the next one.